All right, today we're going to be solving absolute value equations and inequalities. Not too bad, just watch closely, you should be good to go. First one, absolute value of x minus 5 equals 7. I'm going to give you a great gesture for this tomorrow, but basically you need to know if there's absolute value, there's a good chance you have two answers, because think about what absolute value is. Absolute value means how far a number is from 0. So this really means the absolute value of something is 7 away from 0. Now, think about what is 7 away from 0. There are two numbers that are 7 away from 0, 7 and negative 7. So I'm going to take what's inside my absolute value and set it equal to 7, and also set it equal to negative 7. And I'm going to solve both of those. I'm going to take the 5 to the other side. Just add 5 right there. That's 12. Take the 5 to the other side. Add those up. That's negative 2. And here's the deal. If I were to plug 12 in here, think about this. 12 minus 5 is 7. The absolute value of 7 is 7. If I put negative 2 in here, negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7, and the absolute value of negative 7 is 7. So, two solutions, 12 and also negative 2. That's simple. Let's try another one. Absolute value of 5x minus 10 is 45. Here, 45 is over here, so we're looking for the absolute value of some number or whatever is 45 away from 0. There are two numbers that are 45 away from 0. One is 45. The other one is negative 45. So I'm setting both of my equations into equal to 1 to 45, 1 to negative 45. So I'm taking the 10 over on this one, make it 55, divide by 5, get 5. Solve this one too. Take the 10 over. That's kind of hard to read. That's a negative 45. If I take the 10, that's a positive 10. That gives me negative 35. Divide by 5, it's negative 7. And if you were to plug both of those in there, I promise it would both work, and you would get two answers, 5 and negative 7. So really, pretty simple deal. This changes things, though. If you have a variable on the other side, look at the directions even say something different. It says check for extraneous solution. Extraneous means an extra answer. You might get an answer here you may get two solutions. Well, you will get two solutions. One of them may not work, or to be honest, both of them may not work. So you have to check it for sure when you have a variable on the other side. So I'm going to solve it the same way. Start out going 2x plus 12 equals 4x, and also 2x plus 12 is negative 4x, and let's just go. I'm going to move the 2x over this time to get my x's together. That gives me a 2x over here, a 12 there, divided by 2, that's 6. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to take the 2x over there, that's negative 2x. So I get 12 equals negative 6x. Divide both sides by negative 6, I get negative 2. Now, before I put these together and say what my final solution is, I must check them. And really, here's all you have to do. All you have to do is take the 6 and plug it in the right-hand side, because remember, absolute value always equals a positive number. And if I plug 6 right there, 4 times 6 is 24. That's positive. That's awesome. It works. What happens if I plug the negative 2 in up here? If I plug negative 2 in up there, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Absolute value cannot equal negative 8, so that's the extraneous solution. So my only solution is x equals 6. Now, be careful. Just because this is negative is not the reason why it didn't work. The reason it didn't work is because it made the right side negative, not because the number itself is negative. A negative answer is okay, and sometimes both answers will work. You really have to check both. Okay, two inequalities, and we're done. If it's greater than, greater, see how we can go here. Okay, so what this is saying is the absolute value is more than 13 away from 0 on the number line. More than 13, which means the absolute value has to be more than 13 to be more than 13 away from 0, or the absolute value has to be less than negative 13. Think about that. If I have a number line and I want to know what number is 13 away from 0, well, it would be 13 and negative 13. Those are exactly 13 away, but what is more than 13 away? More than 13 away would be everything over here and everything over there, which is greater than 13 and less than negative 13. That's why you set it up that way. So if you see greater than, tomorrow I'll tell you we're going to think greater than, because it's always or. It's always or when there's a greater than, and that's why. So let's move the 5 over here, solve both inequalities. That gives me 8, divide by 4. I get x is greater than 2. Bring down your or, it's part of your answer. Move the 5 over. Move the 5 over, I get negative 18. Divide by 4, this is going to get a little tricky. If I divide by 4, it doesn't go evenly, but I can reduce that. But 2 goes into 18 and 4, goes in 9 times and 2 times. So my answer, just say graph the solution, so I'm going to put the 2 here, and circle, empty circle, because it doesn't equal, greater than 2. The negative 9/2 is over here, empty circle, shade that way, less than that way, and that's it. So if it's greater than, it's over, and this picture tells you why. Okay, last slide. Absolute value of x plus 2 is less than 6. Then graph. We can do the same thing. There are two numbers that are 6 away from 0. 6 and negative 6. But this is saying the absolute value is less than 6. So less than 6 away from 0. Less than 6 away from 0 this way is right here. Less than 6 away from 0 that way is right there. So that's an and, like we did the other day with inequalities. That's an and problem. So because it's an and, it comes together. Notice zero's in between the 6 and negative 6. I'm going to put the absolute value between 6 and negative 6 and solve it just like we did the other day. Subtract 2 from all three sides, and I'll get 4 over here, negative 8 over here. And as it did say, graph the solution. So I'm going to put a negative 8 on my number line, a positive 4 on my number line, empty circles because there's no equal sign, and I'm going to shade between because the x is between negative 8 and 4. Now I've got a couple things that are going to help us with this tomorrow, so I look forward to seeing you there so I can help you just a little bit more. But these are good examples, and hopefully this video made a lot of sense to you, and hopefully it's some review. Hopefully you remember doing this some in Algebra 1. But I'll see you tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you. See you. Bye.